Ah, yeah, it feels so good. So good. It is finally done. Complete. Finished. The mob system is built. We are up in the cloud level here. Oh, that's interesting. Apparently, if you have F1 down, you can't see the numbers. Learn something new every day. Today, we're going to be learning a lot of new things, but we'll get to that in a little bit. F5, there we go. Yeah, we're done the mob system. It goes way up here. 12 layers, 1200 spawning spaces in it. It is very, very big, very efficient. Let's go down through here. There's a lighting system in it, which works very well. Ouch. As you can see, the lights are on right now. That looks really cool when you look down at the center like this. By the way, if you hold shift, the water won't push you off blocks either. Little trick I learned while building this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so it's done. The only thing left to do now is to light up the caves in the area, and until I do that, it's going to be pretty slow rates. Woohoo! Ouch. Oh, not another slime. In here even, wow. First time I saw one in here. Yep. So, yeah, next thing to do will be light up the caves, work on the EMP units, hook up the sorting systems, and all the fun stuff starts now. The hard part is done, but really the next thing I want to do is get rid of all this land between the mob system and here. So that's about 20 blocks up we got to take out. A lot of blocks. I'm going to use TNT for that. Let's go take a look outside. If I can find my way out of here. Oh yeah. And I'm going to try maybe have another tube in the middle and we'll have slimes going through that. I think that might be cool. If we can find a slime chunk around here and make it work out. If not, oh well. Oh yeah, and the repairs on the silverfish room have sort of been taking place. I cleared out the big mess underneath and killed most of the silverfish, I think. I broke the blocks, encouraged them to come out, and then killed them all that I could find. So, hopefully that mess is cleaned up. Got rid of a lot more of the lava, and I'm still parkouring around here. I'll cut to outside because this might take me a while to get out of. Alright, let's jump off. Show you how high up it is. Quite a ways. This is what it looks like from down below. It looks a lot better as snow, I gotta say. Compared to cobble or wood, it looks really cool. Might add some more character to it in the future, but for now I'm just happy with the general look of it. Although, I do have to say I do not recommend making one out of snow. Because that took a long time to farm all that snow. Believe it or not, even with the snow golems, it took a long time. I went through a good stack of iron on shovels, and basically every shovel gets you 64 blocks of snow. Every iron shovel is what I worked it out to be about. And yeah, I was using cobble ones at first, but I just got fed up with them breaking all the time, so I switched to iron shovels, and that just took forever. But anyway, it's done. Yay. Today we're going to be talking... Today's going to be a talkie episode. We're not really going to build anything. I learned something new today, and this is going to be sort of a MythBusters episode. So I'm going to set up some signs, and then we will get started, because I got to share some information. Oh yeah. So this thing's working a lot better now that we have a few more layers on it. But once we get the caves all lit up around here, it's going to make a huge difference. It'll be a lot better. So we'll try to do that sometime soon. But check it out. The signs are set up. Charts are already here. You are about to get schooled, my friends. Today's MythBuster episode is going to be about the Minecraft hunger system. And I'm going to wager a bet that the majority of the people that play this game have no idea how it works. And before today, I was also one of them. And the reason for that is because the hunger system in this game is very unintuitive, or in other words, you wouldn't know how it works unless you spent many hours trying to figure it out, or if you were to look at the game code, you might figure it out that way, or if you had someone explain it to you, like I'm going to try to today in this episode. So, how does it work? Oh boy, where do we begin? Well, let's start from the beginning. The way I originally thought it worked, and as I'm sure many of you also agreed, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat another one. I'm going to jump around a little bit. So, actually, maybe before we get going here, I'm going to say one thing. Once my hunger gets down. Just a sec. Alright. We'll jump a few more times. There we go. So it just went down. Jumping is going to be our staple in this episode for measuring our hunger. It just went down. Every 20 times we jump, it's going to go down half a bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and here goes 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, that's our easy to reproduce measurement system. Okay, so the way I originally thought the hunger worked is if right now I'm down 2.5 bars, right? Eating steak recovers four of those. So I thought there was an overflow to it where it only shows 10, but I thought in this case I would have what's 2.5, 11.5 hunger at the moment, or food I should say, 11.5 food. I thought there would be a 1.5 overflow there. That's the way I thought it always worked, because anybody that's played this game for a while knows that if you were to eat a watermelon when your food's at 9.5 compared to when you would eat a steak when it's 9.5, generally the steak would keep you full a lot longer than the watermelon. That's pretty well known, and I think a lot of people figured that's the way it works. But it turns out there's actually 2 different hunger bars in this game. And most information for this episode comes from the Minecraft wiki. From the UHC comments, one that comes up quite often is that I waste my food in it. I eat and waste food. And I've always sort of rolled my eyes at that comment. It comes up quite often. Some of the other guys get it too. People that say it are pretty much trolls, so they're doing it. I don't know why they say it. It's never with a good attitude. It's like, I can't stand watching this guy. He always wastes his food. He's such an idiot type comment, you know. And turns out there's actually some truth to it, though. Although the comment itself is still very stupid for many reasons. Anyway. Well, I'm going to collect my thoughts for a second here so I don't say anything incorrect. Yeah, so I was going through my UHC comments again today, the latest episode, and once again I've gotten one of those I hate watching this guy because he wastes his food comments. And people kind of rang into him about it, about how he's wrong and there's an overflow value and etc. etc. And it kind of had me wondering, had me curious, how does the food actually work in this game? Because I've never actually tried to figure it out. And I decided to check out the wiki page on hunger, see if it had anything interesting to say about it. And it turns out somebody has actually gone and looked at the game code and figured out exactly the method to it and exact data values for the food in the game, and as well as exact data values for the different actions in the game and how they take away your food. So it's very interesting, or at least I thought it was, and I encourage you to check it out. I'll try post a link to the page in the description. And we're kind of going to go over that info today and dissect it a little bit, do a few tests here. There's a little bit of conflicting info on it. There's two charts that don't really seem to agree with each other totally. But overall is pretty accurate. And there's a few things I wasn't really sure about either, which I would like to check out. So first of all, like I said, there's two different food bars in this game. There's this one here that we can see, and there's also a separate one, an invisible one, called the saturation bar, which we can't see. Both of them have 20 points maximum that we can have. So each of these food bars, each of these chicken legs counts as 2 points. So we have 3, 5, 7, 7.5 here, which times that by 2 is 15 points is our food value here out of a total of 20. If we were to eat this steak, it's good for 8 points, and there's only room for 5 points here. So 3 points would actually go to waste because there is no overflow on this bar. So you can actually waste food in this game, and most people do, from ignorance and convenience and other reasons as well, I'm sure. Like I said, I had no idea how this worked until I read the wiki page today. But anyway, there's two different food bars, and every food item in this game also has two different food values. And I have them arranged from least to greatest here. Cookies, as you know, are garbage. But if you look at spider eyes and watermelon, for example, both of them recover 2 points on this bar here, but they have two completely different values. This one's 5.2 and this one's 3.2. So the number 2 at the top here is the one we know. That goes 2 points to this food bar, and then it also adds 1.2 points to the saturation bar, which we can't see. So for a total of 3.2 food value. And if we go over to spider eyes, they are quite a bit better actually. They have 2 points plus 3.2 to the saturation bar for a total of 5.2. That's over a time and a half better than watermelon, even though they seem to be the same according to what we can see on the main food bar here. So you know when the saturation bar is empty if your main food bar is jittering. That's the only real visible sign of it. Right now my food bar is not jittering, but if I jump around a little bit, we can use up our saturation bar completely, and you can see now, just so happened I didn't have much in it, so it emptied pretty quick there, and now the food bar is jumping up and down, which means my second food bar is at 0, and now we're using up this food bar here. You only use up this food bar here if your saturation one is empty, and then this starts jittering. Alrighty, so maybe we'll go through all the food items here and see what their actual food values are for the two different bars. one at a time. First of all, cookies recovers 1 point to the main food bar and 0.2 to the saturation bar, or the overflow bar, basically is what it is, for a combined total of 1.2 points. And we know from our jumping experiment before, we can jump 20 times per point. So if we were to eat a cookie and get no food wasted from it, 1.2 times 20, eating a single cookie would allow us to jump 24 times, assuming we're not doing any other action that takes away our food. Anyway, moving on. That's how that works. Raw chicken, raw fish, and watermelon all have the exact same values as each other. 2 points to the main food one, 1.2 to the saturation, for a total of 3.2. Raw beef, raw pork, rotten flesh, again, all have the same values. 3 to the main, 1.8 to the overflow, for a total of 4.8. Spider eyes, my personal favorite. And I did notice this. Before, I used to always eat spider eyes, then I switched to watermelon. And I found after I would eat a spider eye, after I would eat a watermelon, I would get hungry a lot faster than after I ate a spider eye. And that's because the saturation value is a whopping 3.2 compared to the 1.2 of the watermelon. So it is quite a difference, for a grand total of 5.2. Apples are next for 2.4. 6.4 total. Then there's a huge jump with bread and cooked fish. It goes 5 and 6 for a total of 11. Cooked chicken is 6, 7.2 for 13.2 total. Golden apples, they have a high saturation, and compared to their relatively low main food bar. So again, 4 is equal to 2 chicken legs on here. And then 9.6 for the invisible food bar, 13.6 total. Cake is a little bit of a weird one because you can eat it 6 times. And so this first number here is per eat, and the second number here is the combined total of them. Mushroom stew is a pretty good food item, 8 for the main, 9.6. Oop, I put that one line too low. For a total of 17.6. And then the two best food items in the game are cooked beef and cooked pork, which is 8 for the main, 12.8 for the saturated, and 20.8 for the total. So if you compare that to a watermelon, 20.8 divided by 3.2, assuming there's no waste, cooked pork chops and beef is 6.5 times better or more filling than a watermelon. So that's how you can use these numbers together as well, using our jumping illustration. 20.8 times 20, that would allow us to jump 416 times. So that's how many actions of jumping we can perform per cooked one if we don't waste any. Now let's move on to the actions. These are what I found pretty interesting. The way this works is pretty complicated. Well, not super complicated, but there's a value in this game called the exhaustion. I can't say that right now. I'm exhausted. Aha. An exhaustion. Wow, I really can't say it. Exhaustion value in the game. When that gets to 4.0, it takes away one of our points from our saturated food bar, if there is any in it. Otherwise, it will take one away from our regular food bar. Okay. So walking or sneaking adds 0.01 to our exhaustion value. Hey, I think I said it right there. So if we were to, let's see, 4 divided by 0.01, this is how I get to these numbers. 0.01 is 400. That means we can walk or sneak 400 blocks before using up 1 food point. So either from the saturated bar if we have, or else from the food bar. Sprinting uses up food 10 times faster. It's 0.1 per block or meter. So sprinting 40 blocks uses up 1 food point. Swimming is a 0.015 per block. 1 food point takes you 266.66 blocks. Jumping, we've covered, is 0.2. So again, if we take 4, divide that by 0.2, we get 20. And that's how we get our total of 20 jumps per 1 food point. Sprint jump uses up food 4 times faster than regular jumping. That's one of these. And we're allowed 5 of these per food point. Look how fast it goes down right now, because my saturation bar is empty. And what else? Block breaking. A lot of these I haven't tested. Block breaking is one of them. We can break 160 blocks before we use up a food point. And then attacking a mob or whatever takes 13.33 hits before we use up like 13.33 swings before we use up 1 food point. We're going to test this one today probably, because I'm not sure if a miss counts as a swing or if it has to hit the mob to use up your food. Damage, that's us taking damage, is the same. And then food poison, that's what you get when you eat zombie flesh sometimes. 70% of the time you get food poisoning, and then this will take away our food. It should be, if we divide 15 by 4, 3.75 points. I think it should take away. I'm a little confused about this one. Over the duration of the entire poisoning. See, it's still going down. I'm actually going to watch that back and see if it took away 3.75 roughly. Yeah, that seems to be correct, because zombie flesh gives you 1.8 saturation, so that gets removed and then your food starts to go down. So we went from 15 down to 12. So that's 1.5 there, plus the 1.8. That is 3.3, and since we can't see exactly what it is, that seems pretty close to 3.75. So it seems to be accurate. Let's test one of these. Let's test watermelon, because I haven't actually tested any of these food values to make sure they're correct, and I'll show you how we can do that. So let's jump until our food just goes down. There we go. We're going to eat a watermelon. And now our food bar's not jittering. That means we have food in our saturation. So 1.2 in our saturation. If we jump, what was it? 20 times 1.2. I think it was 24 times. Yes. Once we jump 24 times, our food bar should start jittering. So let's try that out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Still not jittering. Next time we jump, it should start. Uh-oh. 25. Did I count wrong? Oh boy. 26. Something's not right here. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. What is going on? There, it finally started jittering. 40. So these values were last updated in 1.1, I think the wiki said. So, yeah, this might have got changed. That's weird. Now the next 20 times we jump, the food bar should actually go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Still hasn't gone down. Next jump will do it. There we go. So 40. So this value should actually be 2, not 1.2. And this should be 4 total. Interesting. So we may have to test all these to figure it out exactly what it is now. Yes, indeed. So I just checked the wiki page, and it doesn't actually say what version this chart was made in. So, or taken from, I should say. It wasn't made from it. It was found out by looking at the game code. We're going to put a star next to here so we know it's been updated. But apparently in the new version that we're using right now, it's a little bit different from what the wiki says. I don't have time to check all these today, especially these bigger numbers would be hard to check in the game using that method I showed. But overall, it's pretty good information there. Let's see, what did I want to talk about? Oh yeah, also, I said 70% chance of getting poisoned from zombie flesh. It's actually 80%, according to the wiki. And chicken is a 30% chance. And if you get poisoned, it gives you 15 exhaustion. You divide that by 4, and that gets you the total number of points you lose, which is 3.75. What were we going to do now? Yeah, so basically the tip to not wasting food is make sure your food bar here is jittering before you eat, and that you have enough space for the first food value. So if I'm going to eat steak, I would want to use it up until it's at that point and then eat to get the full effect. If I'm being very concerned about not using up food. For convenience, it's obviously easier just to eat whenever you want. Nobody should tell you, right? But yeah, you can not have a full food bar there and eat and have the jittering stop, which means your saturation bar is full. I am getting tired here and rambling a little bit, quite a bit, sorry. Let's see, something else I wanted to try here. The wiki says your saturation food bar cannot exceed your current food bar. So if I'm at 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13 points right now, my saturation bar can't be more than 13. 13 is the limit, which tells me that it's additive. So if watermelons give you 2 to the saturation, if I was to use up a bunch of my food here, let's try this out. Just something I want to figure out. Okay, so I think we just used up the food. I shouldn't be moving around. Moving uses up your... Again, I didn't time that very well. Okay, let's make sure we get it at the right jump here. I think it was that jump. So, if we were to eat 2 watermelons in a row now, that should give us a total of 4 saturation because we're allowed to have that. We have more than 4 points in our main food bar. So that would allow us to jump Oh, what is it? 4 would be times 20, 80 times. And believe it or not, I'm going to test this, so I'll be right back. Yeah, so there's still some hidden pieces to this puzzle. I've tried this twice now. Eating 2 watermelons in a row will allow you to jump 60 times before you use up the saturation. So that would be 3 total from 2. So somehow 1 point gets lost there if you eat 2 in a row. I've tried many times just eating a single one, and it's always 40 jumps, which is 2. So yeah, there's a bit to this that we don't know yet. But regardless, it's pretty interesting stuff. Requires more testing, more figuring out some other time, and I'm not necessarily the guy that's going to do it. I'm going to try, I want to confirm sprinting, so maybe we'll head to the surface and do a F3 point A to point B test, and I also wanted to try getting, or attacking. Actually, we can do that pretty simple right now to figure out if missing counts for anything. Saturation is used up. If we swing wildly in the air, let's see if it uses up any food. We've swung more than 13.33 times now, so it does not appear to. And then we will go actually try hit a mob and see if that does it. Okay, so this is our sprinting test. We are going to run 40 blocks. We're at negative 340 right now. We're going to run to, I think, negative 380 and stop and see if it uses up a food bar, or a food point, I should say. I just used up one, so by jumping. So here we go. I'm going to run straight as I can. And bingo. So that looked pretty right to me. That's sprinting. Let's try taking damage. Take this stuff off. So 13.33 hits. Cactus will do. We will have to do a little bit of walking, which drains hunger, but it's very, very small, so I don't think it will influence our rough test here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, so that seems about right. It just went down. Again, that was a rough test. I'm going to try attacking now. Yeah, so our victims are going to be our cows. They don't fight back. So this should be good test subjects. Turn that down because they're annoying. Let's just use up our one haunch here, 1 point. So we know where we're at. Okay. So it should be 13.33 hits roughly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Will this do it? Yes, so that's the same too. So it seems to be pretty accurate. It's probably all we'll do today with this. There's a few more things I wanted to try, but it's getting late here and the episode is getting long. So if you're going to eat zombie flesh, one of the best ways you can do it is eat it all at once. Unless you don't get poisoned the first time. That way, because this thing resets every time. But anyway, I'm going to go to bed. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this talkie. The game crashed. Bye.